without jobs. And I had to watch a lot of my colleagues break down because they just bought homes and cars, and I was basically, my department
Yeah.
was okay because we were all cosmetologists.
Right.
So we didn't have a fear of not being able to provide. So I don't know if we want to start. I understand the directing, but
If it's
if
your
it's going
choice,
to
yeah.
damage that, and then I wanted to talk about. I just want to ask if you with this with what we're doing. If you take it away, would it require, let's say I attend school here, I'm in high school, and then I decide I want to go to college in another state, would it prevent me from enrolling in that school um, with them saying that it's,
No, no. There are children that are homeschooled that are, that they can go to any college they want to if they meet the admission requirements.
but if they're
And
homeschooled, are they
so,
still following the same curriculum, or
not
the parent
necessarily.
just
There
take
are a
out?
number of homeschooling curriculums out there that they could choose from. But no, this would in no way prevent you from going to college out of state if you chose to do that.
Okay, I'm still not finished. I have a couple more.
Okay.
Um, I
Somebody,
don't.
I'll get out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Okay, you're a school teacher, or I know you said you're an elected official
Right, I am
School
a
board.
school board official
in Baldwin County.
Baldwin County.
And can you please just tell me a little bit? You said our teachers create, develop.
Right.
Is it still based on Common Core?
Right.
Or?
So the set of standards is set by committee. State Board of Education approves them, and then our curriculum department creates, with teachers, by committee, they create the content, they create the lesson plans and the curriculum that goes into K-12. I mean, depending on what grade, depending on what class it is, it's math, science, social studies.
And it works for you all?
Yes.
Okay.
And it has for years.
Okay. I had one more. Just one more. Just one
Yes,
more.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you good?
I'm good with you.
Thank you.
So with the administering the Nate, if we take that out, what will happen?
So that was part of the 500 million that Representative Fincher was talking about. Especially our Title I funds in this state and in every state, along with many other federal dollars. Part of the requirement is that your state participate in this national assessment. And keep in mind that this NAEP is only given to selected schools in 4th grade and 8th grade. So every student in this state is not taking that test. It's just that the national assessment randomly picks students in 4th and 8th grade, and they give the test. If our state refuses to do that, we would be forfeiting Title I federal dollars from the government, things like that. So there are other things for not taking the NAEP, but I mean that's just one of them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Garrett.
Representative Fincher. Yeah. So, part of the confusion, I was on a school board as well, and we had a lot of discussions about all these issues, and part of the confusion is often Common Core means different things to different people. It's hard to kind of define, and, that's something that, I've talked about that in the past, but I know there's several states have moved away from Common Core standards and replaced with something else. Is there a state in particular that you think is a good model?
There are some good states. Minnesota and some of these states never join Common Core to start
Yeah, but those that moved
there are
away, yeah.
7 or so states, seems like, that never did come into Common Core. And so they remained outside the entire time and have done so. And some of them have very, very good academic standards. Yes, and as you know, the state of Florida right now, under Governor DeSantis, is moving away from Common Core. Our neighboring state of Florida to the south is. And so, yeah, there are other models to look at if that's what you're asking
But
about.
you don't have one in mind in particular as far as what we would replace with?
It
what
wouldn't
that
be my decision. There'll be a lot of people that would have input into doing that if we drop Common Core and decide to move into another direction.
Do any of the other speakers have it's kind of a state that's, yes, sir?
Yeah, to answer your question most directly, one of our math teachers, who is an expert in math, has worked with the Minnesota standards. They are 2007 standards. They never adopted Common Core. The math guru up there was very appreciative of our 2009 standards. The argument really is they're number one in NAEP, and I understand the problems that have been talked about with NAEP, but the bottom line is we're at the bottom with standards that were adopted.
Right. But just Minnesota would be the example I
Yes.
want to research. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I further amplify this? If you take a look at my enclosure 8, it's been stated here that we do not have Common Core standards. Okay. Eagle Forum did an analysis along with some other folks on the course of study 2019. Okay. And what you see here is a comparison between 2019 core standards and the Common Core standards to mathematics. Notice how much of the yellow lines are all aligned, okay? So the argument that we have got Alabama standards by Alabama folks is absolutely wrong. The other, I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a letter from the governor, and she basically asked Superintendent Mackey to look outside of Common Core, and she specifically asked for a comparison among the top states. Minnesota was one of them. When we interviewed Dr. McCarty of the State Board of Education, she said she's still waiting to see these standards. So, I make this point because it was very clear that somewhere along the line, the governor is asking for new standards, and something happened, and all she got was this. We've sent this to Joe Bonner. We're in the process of working with him. We've had a couple of our team members who have already met with Bonner and Nick Moore. We're pursuing it this way and that way. But this argument that we don't have Common Core is absolutely wrong. It's there.
Thank you.
Oh, and Ms.
Representative
Meadows,
Fincher, I am.
I requested to speak earlier if I could.
Oh, I didn't see that. I apologize.
To Representative Fincher.
Thank you. Representative Dismukes will be our last speaker for
Representative
today.
Dismukes.
Representative Fincher, Representative Sanders has probably gotten tired of me hounding her about Common Core over the last couple of years, and so for that I apologize. But I've been thinking and processing a few different things. Could it be a lack of parenting as to why our education has slumped off? And I'll address a few of these and then let you speak. Could it be a lack of, when the children get home, their parents working with them on the school? Could it be the fact that we are now sending kids to school for them to basically babysit and to push them through rather than teach them correctly? And could it be that we're constantly changing our standards and our curriculum, and we're not being able to settle in on anything and give it time? And my last question to wrap all this up, I've heard everybody, I haven't been able to look through the pamphlet here, but we look at scores and everybody jumps up and down about how bad Common Core is, but nobody that I've heard really ever has really explained what is so bad about Common Core. Like, why is Common Core the reason that our standards have slumped off? Could it not be some of these other things?
And I understand your question, and I appreciate your question. Let me say this. I figured a lot of people were going to come up and say something about COVID and coming out of COVID and all. And it has been spoken of tangentially by some of the speakers here today. However, I want to point out this is not caused by COVID. This is a trend that's been going on long before anybody ever heard the word COVID. There are social problems that are going to diminish the learning environment and you and I and all of us know about broken families and other things. But let me just say this, and this may help you get some solution to this. If we're 51st, don't you think those other states have social problems as well? I mean, this is not unique to the state of Alabama that we are suffering from certain breakups and social problems. And yes, those impact a child's education. But for us to rank for us to rank that low, these other states have similar problems. And so I think if you look at some of those charts in there and look where the drop off is, there was one chart I saw, and I haven't had a chance to look through all of that was handed out today, but I saw one chart and it looked like it fell off a table. You know, the line did. It just plunged. And it was the year we adopted the Common Core standards. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Fincher. I wanted to let Representative Fincher know and the committee that we have all of the email addresses of the speakers, and so if you're wanting to speak to any of them about specific questions you might have, our clerk, Adam, will have that available. So thank you very much. Next, we're going to call House Bill 559. While our speakers are changing positions, if Representative